my gosh, I love my intro. The intro just gives me life. The gold, it's just like dripping on me. I feel like the gold is dripping on me. The yellow, it just brings sunshine and brightness. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. I am so excited. Super, super, super excited. Thank you to each and every person who rocks with the dumping ground. We are so grateful for your likes, subscribing, clicks, sharing, all those marvelous words that we use in the YouTube universe, right? I appreciate you so much for rocking with the dumping ground. As you guys know, 5 years. February the 4th, make 5 years with the dumping ground. We have evolved from those 5 years to radio, right? To quarterly doing visuals, to actually now just visuals on visuals on visuals. Like, we have evolved. And of course, like our special guest, she has evolved, right? So, of course, we're excited that she had the opportunity to come and rock with us. Rock with us. Super excited. Sorry. As you guys know, no sorries. This is me. This is what you get. All right. As you guys, 2025, our purpose and quote this year is progress, not perfection. Right? Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. Progress, not perfection. And that's by Kimberly Snyder. And the reason why that was chosen is because of the host has a problem with trying to be perfect and do everything perfect, right? And we know perfect is, there's no such thing as perfect, right? So this quote is helping me every time I think about it, I ponder on it. It's progress, not perfection. So again, we're all about celebrating your wins. Our guest is going to talk about her wins, and we're going to celebrate with her. Yes. And again, I keep saying again and again and again. 2 weeks, we have shows twice a month. We chose to downsize to bring great quality, great content. So today, we have a beautiful spirit. First of all, her name, okay? Her name is ripples and frequency. It's just her name, period. Symphony. I mean, can you imagine the symphony, our orchestra, the music, the melody? It's just amazing how this beautiful creature that God created has this beautiful name that he's assigned to join with us today. We're excited. She is a money mindset coach and a certified EFT practitioner. And we're so excited that she's here to join us on the dumping ground, to share her experiences, to share her wins, to share her faith, to share everything, to inspire, to encourage. Shout out to Cymphany. Symphony. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're so honored to have you as a guest. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule. We know that you're a wife, entrepreneur, a mother, and we couldn't be so honored and blessed to have you with us, rocking with the dumping ground. So just share a little bit about yourself, talk about your win, and how we can help celebrate you, Miss Cymphany Wilson.
Yes, so pretty much you kind of nailed it. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, mom, wife, entrepreneur, a vessel for the Lord. And we say that again, a vessel for the Lord.
Symphony.
Yes, that's not easy.
Not
That's not
easy.
easy at all. But ironically enough, I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. I've been an entrepreneur for pretty much 10 years. That's how old my oldest is, 10 years. So, I went through a lot of lessons and journeys throughout that time. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for, still being able to do the work that God wants me to do, and just really embracing that. So for me, that's my biggest win ever, is following God and following what it is that he wants me to do, and not following what I want to do, because I'm very stubborn and I definitely try to do it my way, but he always wins. So every time.
Every time.
So for me, that's really my biggest win, because there was a point where um my brain went to a space that it shouldn't have been, which was, looking at new age stuff and all kinds of things, and it didn't work. It did not work. So it was like, I was like, yeah, no, what are you doing right now? Like, better. So, bringing me back. Like what? No, you're not. No, you're not even going to take more steps. You took like one little tippy toe. It's time to come back. So that for me, it's really finally just stepping into the fact of allowing God to be. He's the potter and I'm the clay. And so for me, that's my biggest win ever, is continuing to be the clay and allowing the potter to mold me.
Mm.
So that's really the biggest thing for me. That is a big win.
That is a win. I'm gonna take that win too, friend. That is a good win, and we actually have to realize that we're not in control. I know as women, I just admit I'm speaking to the choir, to Makisha, the choir, right? We have the tendency to want to control everything, right? Control the household, control everything, but relinquishing, truly surrendering is something we have to do daily. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's the daily surrendering, and trust that, all right, God, I gave you these 5 things. I don't need to come and take one back because you're not moving fast enough. I'm gonna have to trust you with all 5, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming back to the throne room and be like, you know what, God, that's all right. I got this one here. You take it them 4. I can handle this, you know what I'm saying? So that is so good. That's a win that we all should embrace. So thank you for sharing that. And we support you however we can wrap our arms around you and connect and join to pray with you, to let you continue to doing this. The dumping ground got your back, okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's talk about your money mindset coach and a certified EFT practitioner. Like, break that down a little bit for me, because I had to do Google. I mean, I got the money mindset coach. People, I was like, oh yeah, legacy money, teach you how to do your money. But the EFT practitioner, I was like, sis gonna have to help me with that one.
Yes. So as a money mindset coach, I lean a lot more like on the business side, at least for now.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that it will expand. So, I have gone through the stages of life where I've been through evictions. I've
Mm-hmm.
been, on public assistance, having to be on food stamps,
Mm-hmm.
having to be on WIC, um, you know, I know what all that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times what a lot of people fail to realize is a lot of those things they stay with us.
Mm-hmm.
And they stay with us in a state of where it's not even happening consciously. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that's happening subconsciously. And one of the biggest areas of our lives where those memories stick with us is from our childhood,
Yes.
because our brain holds on to our childhood more than it holds on to our adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's always easy to say just do the mindset work, just do the mindset work. And it's not to leave God out of it, but you can keep on asking God for something, but if you were not also taking those steps to do what it is, then how can you keep on asking him to fix me, to heal me, if you're not even doing what is necessary to do that? And for me, that happened to be EFT. So no, EFT is not an American thing. It definitely is something that comes from that, Asian type of culture. And I know a lot of the times when people hear that, especially as Christians, we're like, oh no, we're not doing that. But I'm here to tell you, you can still be a follower of God and still be able to utilize it, because if you're utilizing it in his way, then he can make a way. He can take anything and make it for his good. So so for me, that EFT, and then when you really look at EFT emotional freedom technique, you're tapping on acupuncture points. Acupuncture is real. So like there's nothing going against the grain for that. Like it's real life. Like that's why you have doctors that do it. And a lot of the times when it comes to acupuncture and tapping on those points, because you're tapping on your head, you're tapping on your eyebrows, the side of your eye, underneath your eye, you're going through all of those emotions, like you're going through those motions. And a lot of the times it is technically used in that space. It's used in that space of, let's say, for example, you want to lose weight and you have something going on in the back of your mind, and it's like, there's that belief, you can literally tap on that, because now you're releasing those exact beliefs, and it's not someone telling you what to say, but when you're doing it on your own, it's you vocalizing it. And something for me is, when it came to that, I pray before I do it and I pray after I do it. Because in reality, God don't need to hear us out loud. It's what he hears not say that he knows the most of anyway. So in reality, he knows what your subconscious mind is telling you. But it's, so for me, it was like, okay, yeah, there's so many people doing it. But there's not a lot of women of color doing it. And I got that reminder recently. I had someone follow me on Instagram, and I was like, thank you for following me, blah, blah, blah. And she said, I had to follow you. She said, because I haven't seen anyone that looks like me that does this. And so, and for me, it was, I knew I'm doing the right thing, but EFT is something that's very, it helps a lot. A lot of the times when it comes to your mind, it shifts like that when you're doing it. So for me, it was combining both together, because when people think about mindset work, they think about a journal, hugging a tree or something, something like that. But it's your nervous system. It's regulating your nervous system. And your nervous system is always connected. It's connected to your brain. It's connected to that conscious and that subconscious mind. So, so truthfully, it's really just regulating your nervous system and technically regulating your mind. So, so yes, that's pretty much what that was. And so when I took both, so I was like, okay, so now you're going to be talking about money, and not just talking about money, but you're talking about money even when it comes to the beliefs of money. And people need to be able to understand and accept that God doesn't always want us to struggle. So you may be telling yourself, I'm not deserving of this and I'm not deserving of that. And I will be fully honest. I've been in that place because I see so many pastors that bring it up when they're preaching, and they're like, oh, but God doesn't want you to have this and God doesn't want you to have that. But everybody is different, and whatever purpose he has for you is going to be different from everybody. So you can't just tell people that he does want you to struggle, because that's not true for everyone. He already knows our story. He already knows our journey. He knows our struggles, our successes. He knows it already. So you can't. So it's like when you try to throw everybody in that one box, it wasn't okay, because if that was the case, then why do we have abundant animals? Why did he say be fruitful and multiply?
Absolutely.
So, now, I mean, I say everybody now be fruitful and multiply though, but I'm just saying, like, when you really think about that, you know, he created an abundance of things. He
Yeah.
created it. He did
Yeah.
it. You
Absolutely.
know, so
Mhm.
it's like if you know, if that's your relationship with God, if you know like what it is that you're supposed to do, and He's telling you you're doing it, then you're doing it. So if that means, if even if that means you have to go through the struggles at times, even if that means you have to, you know, go up, come back down, like
Yeah.
because because in the end it's about just not, it's about not losing sight of in Him, because when you
Absolutely.
lose sight in Him, He's gonna definitely be like, yeah, no, we bringing you right back down to zero. Because what are you doing?
Absolutely. I,
Yeah. So for me, that's really what that was. So it was, first of all, you don't have to sit there and work paycheck to paycheck. You don't
that's
have
correct.
to. And there's nothing wrong with that. And let's be honest, there's don't fall into the trap of only evil people have it, because that's not
Absolutely.
true.
Absolutely.
That's not true either. So it was, so you know, and those typically are thoughts that we form, because when as we're growing up, unfortunately, we're
Yeah.
seeing more of the bad people with it than we're seeing with the good people with it. So,
Absolutely.
you know, so for me it was, I knew I had to do it. And of course, I'm a business major, so I love everything related to business in the first place. So
Right.
it was just a no-brainer that it, you know, I was going to start in business. But you know, just going throughout this journey, I know for our community how important it is to talk about money. We don't
Yes.
learn about it in school. We don't
No.
learn about it in high school.
Nope.
We don't even learn about it in college unless it's a course, because
Yeah.
that's what I did. I had to take a course. That's how I
Mhm.
learned what it was that I learned. And it wasn't
Absolutely.
just that. It was that, like, you know, shout out to my son's grandmother, because there was other things that she showed me too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so it was, so I know for a fact that right now I'm saying it's business, but
Mhm.
I know that it'll eventually expand itself outside of that.
Right.
You know, I definitely feel that. Um, you know, I definitely feel that wholeheartedly, and even just expanding even, you know, in Christianity, because
Absolutely.
those always tend to be things we don't like to talk about.
But you know, money is the number one thing that God talked about in the Bible.
Hmm.
Money is the most uncomfortable subject in period. When anytime, because everybody now clutching onto their back because they're thinking you about to ask for something. But for me, I feel like if you be faithful in a few things, now this is principles that
Hmm.
I believe not. I go off principles and his principle, because you better say his word, because his word don't return void, right? Because my
Hmm.
word don't mean dilly squat.
Hmm.
So he said, if you're faithful over a few things, I will make you ruler over much. So the faithfulness is doing the action items, taking the courses, um, asking the Holy Spirit to lead and guide you on your monies, on your choices. If you ain't got the money, why you swipe? You know, all of those principles goes along with, if you be faithful over a few things, I'll make you rule over much, right? So
Hmm.
all you basically is taking that principle and creating leaves or of trees
Hmm.
to go to that, you know what I'm saying, with the
Hmm.
money mind coaching and the EFT, and you doing the acupuncture. Because I know a friend girl who does acupuncture because she has bad migraines. So, and it helps with the pain. And my daughter, she suffers from bad pain, and I was like, baby girl, you might need to go check out acupuncture to help you. And the thing is, that ain't your healer, right? First of all, we know our healer is Jehovah.
Gyra. Yeah, because what?
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, period. You know what I'm saying? Jehovah Rapha is my healer. But in the process of him being your healer, we still have to take care of his temple, right? That
Hmm.
means we can't be negligent.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not exercising, not drinking water. I mean, you gotta, that's the pieces that the other part of the branches that goes out, you know,
Hmm.
like it's like Jehovah in the, the middle, and then the branches that goes out, that you gotta also do your part to connect to that source, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm excited for you. I know this journey, 10 years journey that you're at. You have experienced ups and downs, but the cool part is you stepping, like you said, the lady was like, "Hey, I never seen this for these for your ethnicity."
Yeah, she was like, listen, she was like, I love it. She's like, but I never seen anyone look
Mhm,
like me. She was like, she's like, you don't see any other black woman. She said,
mhm,
and a black woman at that. She said, you're
mhm,
not seeing that. And so it was like a whoa, like when
mhm,
she said that, and I never thought about it, but when I really think about it, even if there's EFT people that I personally follow myself, I haven't seen.
mhm,
I haven't. I'm just gonna be honest. I haven't. Even the person that I learned it from, she don't look like me.
mhm,
So for me, it was okay. And but then eventually, just after that, was when I started reaching that side of Instagram,
mhm,
and it was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love this. I wanted to do this. I want to do it, and this is that. So it opened. So it was like, okay, like, okay, I see what's happening.
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so it was just at some point you just gotta use your common sense.
Like, okay,
Like,
God, I don't need no more signs. I got it.
yeah, like I get
Man,
it.
you
I
have
get
you have
it.
you have sent me 1,300 signs. I get it now. The confirmation has came.
I don't need the burning bush. I'm good.
I'm good. No, 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 no. We don't need the bush. But some people need it. Sometimes I be like, listen, Lord. I need you to make it so foolish that a fool like Makisha can understand. I need you to make it so. I need you to dumb it down all the way down that this poor little child can get. I need to be able to grasp it and receive it. You know what I'm saying? So some people need the burning bush, and in some
Mhm.
occasions you may need a burning bush. But that's good that you are able to gravitate to the sign. So I have one question for you. Leveraging your faith. You say, how has your faith guide you and navigate you in this, challenges or uncertainties? Like, how's your faith been your navigator for you?
That's a great question. So it's still doing that now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, myself, my husband, we packed up our toddlers and we left Florida. And we moved to Texas. And um around that exact time, he had just lost his mom, he lost his mom, but his mom went home to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And everything just started moving quickly. She went home to the Lord at the end of 2023. So in December, on December 13th to be exact. Then we had her funeral pretty much January something. I can't remember the date, but it was early January of 2024. And then it was like for those rest of those weeks, one, we were packing up the house to get her stuff out, and we had to pack up ourselves, and we didn't even pack up ourselves in its full entirety. We still have stuff out there with his dad right now. So I'm gonna be so truthfully, even now it's still happening that way. But I do have to say that I fell short in a lot of relationships, a lot of people that I've been with, but I have to say that being with my husband, it's that thing of equally yoked,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And even even if I fall short, I still know that I have him
Mm-hmm.
behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily not even behind me, but in front of me,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he is the head.
Mm-hmm.
So, so truthfully, just, and he is a PK kid. He's a PK kid, so that's
Right, right,
definitely one of
right.
those too. But um, just having him, and even just having him as that support system, and having that person to also, redirect me,
Yeah.
that has definitely helped me a lot more. Even in the moments of when we always go through this moment of, I don't hear God.
Mm.
But the thing is, you do hear him. You do somewhere else that you ain't supposed to be looking for him at. And honestly, I would have to say moving has put us in a position to where we have nothing but to rely on him.
Mm.
So I would say faith shook up, when we moved. It shook up way more when we left Florida and came to Texas. Um, so I can tell you right now, even now, we are still going through that moment. We're being shaken up, where it's kind of like you're not talking to your you don't hear from, like for me, I don't hear from my dad, or something like that. And it's like now you're sitting here like, well, what do I do? Like you totally your fingers.
Right.
And like I said, I've been there a lot. And unfortunately, I've said that, like, where's God? Why is he not helping me? Like, why am I dealing with this, or why am I going through that? Why me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the big. Why me, Lord?
He said, "Why not you?
You could have picked Abigail. Why me? Why me? But in the end, just I know, I still don't know why me. I still don't know why.
Yeah.
But I know that it's gonna come together, and
Mm.
it's more so. It's not telling him to reveal everything, but allowing him. It's all about asking him, allow me to see
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
into your purpose for me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's I don't know what's next, but you still do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that has definitely been one of the biggest things for me now, more than before, because I'm not by family. My family all on the East Coast. They in New York, they in Florida. So I'm not around where, and actually that's for both of us. Both is for us is New York and it's Florida. But for me, when I'm not by family, so I have no choice but to say, okay, God, I need you right here. I'm calling on you right now. I need you right now because I don't know what is happening.
Right.
But
Right.
I went from saying, God, what's next,
Mm-hmm.
to God, do whatever you feel
Ooh.
necessary.
Girl, that's a different type of prayer, because a lot of people won't say that because they know once they vocalize that, that surrendering, that means you allow him to step in to really do that. And some things, some comfortable things that we have created, he gonna slowly remove them, and you're looking around like, wait a minute, hold on, I didn't mean you to touch that part. I'm good in that area. He like, no, 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 let me, so I
And
mean,
I have to admit that is exactly what happened. When
I
I did that prayer, I was on my way to my day job because I used to work for AT&T. And in the car, I said, God, I surrender all of it. I said, I surrender this job. I surrender my family. I surrender my kids. I surrender this car that I'm in. I surrender. I surrender my marriage. Like that's just me on the way. And it felt like in the matter of a blink of an eye, it was okay, you're being let go. And so I said, so wait. That's what we was doing. Okay. But even just leading up to that moment, I already knew. But it was just like
the reality kicked in.
It was like okay. And I said, and the one thing I said was, you got us here. So I know you're gonna keep us here. Whatever it is, I know you're gonna keep us here. But I will have to say that a lot recently, faith has definitely been tested a lot more. And it's a lot of detaching from circumstances and detaching from what it was that you feel comfortable. I don't want to say it right here, but there's something that's happening in our apartment right now, and it's not being taken care of it's not being taken care of. And we have kids in here. So it's turning into, I'm going to have to call city council. That's what it's given. So, but ironically, there was other conversations that I had, and, that's when that situation came. And so I said, okay, Oh, yeah, you don't got to tell me that does. I know exactly what you're telling me right now. Don't even say that does, God. I got you. So but and truthfully, like I said, I mean, has that always been a thing? Yes. But I did not reach my surrender prayer until he tore me from family and friends.
Mm.
Because it was like I was comfortable. I had everybody. Just going throughout life. My daughter was diagnosed with sickle cell.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, when I had my very first child, I was 19 years old. My son was dead.
Mm.
My son was dead. And if you look at him now, you wouldn't even know that. And he got his own book.
Mm.
So, honestly, all three of my children that I have had have been in the hospital, literally. So, all three of them. My now 4-year-old, his sugar dropped. And if it wasn't for a nurse that day that came into that room, people would thought that we were losing our minds. And I said God placed her here because every other nurse, they were trying to blame me. They were blaming me, and I'm like, how you gonna blame me? I don't even I didn't understand. Like how was I supposed to know? Like that's your job to figure out what's happening. But so and like I said, I've there was always things that have occurred that did happen. And at first I'm like, but why are you doing it? But it shaped me.
Mhm.
It really shaped me. So, and so in the end, it's just more so just leaning on him. And, I always tell people, I hope you don't ever have to get to the surrender prayer, because
Mhm.
that's when life just changes completely.
Mhm.
But if you get there though, that's not a bad thing either though,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
because you tend to hold on to something that you have no business holding on to no more.
Mhm. Mhm.
On. So, and honestly, I've said that surrender prayer multiple times
Mhm.
since being here. And so
Mhm.
that first day was that day on my way to work early
Mhm.
in the morning, praying. And I was like, I surrender. Like I give it all to you. Is
Oh
this
my
is
God.
it. And that's just when it was like, oh, okay, you gonna let me do it this time? Don't worry about it. And it was like, oh, wait, it's happening quick. That's really what that felt. It was like, wow, that's quick. Like, wow. It was like that.
That's so
That's quick.
good.
That's definitely that.
So you are at a place of dependent 100% on relying on him. I mean, you have no other choice. And that's a good place to be in
Mhm.
because you can't lean not to your own understanding, right? You have to trust him in all your ways. I mean, literally, like I have to trust you with my kids who is sick, because I can only do so much. You will have to step in and heal their bodies. I can only be good steward of making sure they're eating properly. I mean, I can only do that part, but you ultimately gonna have to be Jehovah Rapha. You're gonna have to be Jehovah Jehovah provider. You're gonna have to provide. You allow the job to be taken away. You saw the things that were going on, the mistreatment, the mishaps, the different things. So you're gonna have to step in and be the provider.
And
So
and ironically enough, just to talk about my daughter, because if you look at her, first of all, they're loud right now.
that's
Okay. So,
okay.
but,
We love
but
babies here. We love kids here, honey.
yep. So if you've seen what she was like before she left Florida and you see what she's like now, first of all, they had my baby in speech therapy. They had her in physical therapy. And now she's running around chasing after her brother, scream at the top of her lungs when she feel like it. Screaming at the top of her lungs as long as you're not watching her. She's talking. So everything that they said she wasn't going to be able to do, she's done it.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a crisis.
Mm-hmm. Man, I
We
love.
haven't had a crisis at all. And and it did turn into a conversation where I looked at my husband and I said, what if your mom took it
Mm.
when she left? What if when God grabbed her, what if he grabbed that up out of her? Because it's been, when I say brick city, because that's that New York that come out of me.
Yeah,
That's
I
New York.
see. I see.
It's brick
I
outside.
see. I
She's been
see.
outside. We haven't had to rush her to no hospital. I haven't heard her say my arm hurt, my leg hurt, my knee hurt. No pain coming from anywhere. So, I was just like, what if when that day he said, okay, she coming home too, and I'm taking that right up out of her.
Yeah,
That same day. I said, how do we know if that's not what happened?
yeah,
Because we've been in circumstances where it should have flared up, where she should have been having a crisis, and it hasn't. So, so just going for like 20, I would say 2023 all the way to 2025, it was a more shifty time. And 2025 is still shifting.
Yeah.
So, it's just different. It's very different. And that's why for me, it's like, I would never tell anyone not to reach the point of surrender, especially when you're holding on to something when he's telling you to let go. And I have done that so many times. I have held on when he's like, okay, it's time to go. I'm like, no, it's not time. It's not time. He's like, okay, it's not time. Well, I got you. I'm gonna make it time. So,
and I think about it, that thing is weight and carcass and dead that we're trying to hold on to, and he's trying to set you free to fly as an eagle, but instead you want to stay down here with the chickens and he wants you to fly like an eagle.
Like, what you doing? Let's go. Like, come on, let's go. Like, come on
with these chickens.
He's like, no. He's like, come on. He's like, no. But again, it's about that. It's about being comfortable. Absolutely. And I have gotten very uncomfortable. Very, very
uncomfortable. You have to be uncomfortable to walk in this faith thing. It's no comfort in faith. It's no comfort in faith. Nope. Well, listen, this has been a great conversation. Tell people where they can find you and connect with you, all your social medias, and you coming back. We're going to have another discussion and all this good stuff. We're going to have to stay in contact. Like, you can't just be out here doing EFT and teaching people about money and business and all this stuff. And I don't get to be on the journey.
Yeah. So the main platform that I'm way more actively on is Instagram. It's literally Cymphany Wilson. Like, if you type in Cymphany, you're going to see Cymphany, like my personal, then you're going to see Cymphany Wilson. So, because I have two Instagrams. Yes. So it's Cymphany Wilson. Absolutely. It's pretty much my name. It's pretty much what my Instagram is. That is the main platform that I'm active now. I do have a Facebook group. It's called Rewired for More. And I'm getting back into that, but I'm growing it and everything like that. Cause at some point everybody's like, Facebook groups are dead. I was like, oh, it probably is.
Girl, I'm holding on to my Facebook because that's where most of my connectivity is. A lot of people that I know, when I stream live, it's connected there. All of that activity is just it's not dead, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was always the whole thing of Facebook is dead, Facebook dead. But you can still add me on Facebook, Cymphany Wilson. But like I said, mainly, a lot of the times if you see my post on Facebook, it's probably just because I posted it on Instagram and I have to go straight to Facebook because it's easier that way sometimes. I'm still bouncing back and forth, but Facebook, I'm still, I definitely still use Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Rewired for More. And then of course Instagram.
Yeah. Well, Rewired for More, that's good. And you out here doing what you're supposed to do, finding your place in Texas and your purpose continuance in Texas and your assignment, you and your husband on assignment,
assignment.
An assignment
too.
An assignment and purpose. Sometimes if you be like, I don't know why you signed me up for this, but okay, we're gonna go forward,
Yeah. I'm gonna do it though. I'm gonna do what you said, but I'm just curious though, why
did you pick me? So again, thank you so much. We appreciate you rocking with us tonight. And it's been so much fun. Make sure you follow, like, all of her stuff, her posts. Check her out. Facebook, Instagram. We wire more.
Rewired for more.
Rewired for more. And on her Instagram is Cymphany Wilson. Well, we appreciate you joining us today, and we want to thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you in 9 months or a year, or when we do a panel, you could come back and share more of your testimony. Hopefully, I know your testimony is going to bless others. You're surrendering prayer. Lord have mercy. God bless you. You currently walking in your faith, stepping out of comfort to uncomfort, woo, and you're activating faith on your day-to-day life, dependent and relying on God. May God walk with you continuous, and we shall meet again.
Love it.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Let's see here.